Right. Hello, everyone. The lighting's a little harsh right here, but you can see I'm a little more casual than normal today, and that is because we are doing skincare and a little bit of makeup, but mostly skincare today. I do have my hair wrap on just so when I wash my face and stuff like that, I don't get it anywhere else. And to kind of start everything, I wash my face and I just put on some serum and some lotion as well. I'm kind of newer to getting into the skincare realm of everything, but I know how important it is. So I'm really trying my best to kind of get into it, and I don't want wrinkles and all that good stuff. So again, I've kind of gotten used to my skincare right now. Kind of just it's pretty simple, but washing my face, serums, lotions, and all that good stuff. Right now, I put on self tanner yesterday, and I live in Colorado, and it is super super dry. So I'm kind of peeling my forehead. It's not from the sun though. I didn't get burnt or anything. But if you see a little bit of discoloration, that is why. But I would say one of my biggest issues, sorry, I'm presenting to the screen. One of my things I struggle with most is I get really puffy, especially last night. I went out to eat and had a few drinks. Not hungover or anything today, but it just makes from the salt and things like that. I just get really puffy, especially with some of my under eyes and things like that. And I feel like everyone just kind of needs that little bit of a lift. So I have these ice globes, which I kind of started using, but I'm excited to start using them more because I've heard really good things about them and I've seen a ton of people use them. So I'm super excited about that. But this is kind of the box it came in. I'm going to read you guys a few things about what they do because I was very interested in this. And again, I saw someone I follow who's super into skincare. I forgot her name, using them, and she was speaking so highly. So when I saw that Verishop had them, I was like, okay, I need to try these out. And right now, with the 15% off, which you do get during the live stream, and then 15 minutes after, they come to right under $30, which is really good price. Again, for skincare, which I feel like skincare can really range. But the main things that this does, that it is saying, is lifting, firming. The skin repairs eye bags, which I definitely struggle with. That's one of my kind of problem areas, I guess you would say. Forehead lines, eye lines, shrink pores, which is another thing I struggle with, and improve skin roughness. So I guess just kind of make things smoother. It's very lifting, it seems like, helps with fine lines, which I feel like we all kind of struggle with that and like to improve that. Use a lifting facial massage to stimulate blood circulation, oxygenate the skin, and boost elasticity of the skin as well, which I feel like these are all just good things. It's all just kind of youthful things and how to kind of help our skin in that way. It does have a few notes that you shouldn't press too hard and things like that. And there are two different methods that this box specifically says, and I was looking up some YouTube tutorials as well. And there's a few different ways you can go about doing it. So if you want to do more of a lifting, which I'll show you guys in a sec, you go more up, and you're trying to, especially I would say if you have an event or something like that and you're just trying to kind of slim down your face, and you just kind of were a little bit puffy and you just want to kind of trim it down, get rid of some of that puffiness and all that stuff. Going up would be the best, but then lymphatic drainage facial, you go down, you kind of push that I believe it's kind of the liquid and stuff in your face and just kind of push it down. So that stimulates the nerves, relieves tension, reduces future breakouts, and releases toxins. So I think that's more if you're gonna go to bed or something like that, that you would kind of do that downward motion, just kind of release all of the toxins and all that stuff. So let's kind of start with the up. And honestly, I'm gonna look like a fool doing this, but I forgot to mention, but I did put these in the refrigerator. I didn't know. I've just seen them again. I've seen people use them. I thought you froze them, but you do not. You do not put them in the freezer. You can just put it in the refrigerator, and it said recommended just 10 minutes before use. So they're chilled, but they're not freezing by any means, which is kind of a nice feeling. I also just feel like they just feel really nice. So for getting rid of kind of that puffiness, they said just to kind of go in the circular motion going up, which is always nice. And they are glass, so you do have to be careful with them and like clinking them and stuff. And then this part is kind of like a rubbery handle part, and it's like kind of squishy. So they're easy to hold and everything. And then it's just the liquid in it, and it feels really, really nice. I'm not gonna lie. But it said just kind of take it up, and again, kind of the under eye area, and definitely don't go too hard. And if you do start to get any like redness in your skin or anything like that, means you are going too hard and you might be having kind of a reaction to it. So definitely watch for that if you are using them. But again, this is kind of like upward motion. And I think you can kind of do it for however long you want and however many results you want. And then just kind of going up here. And it honestly feels very, very good too. So that's always a plus. But again, for me, I would probably kind of focus in this area. I do kind of have a little bit of a rounder face. So it's always nice to kind of shape your face as much as possible. And I always see so many things in like the gua sha stuff and just how much it can actually change the shape of your face, which honestly I find so crazy how just kind of like doing these massages and things like that can change your face so much. And I'm lucky enough that my bigger issues with my face isn't really acne prone. It's more like with the puffiness and under eyes and things like that. So I think for me, something like this is really gonna like make a difference if I'm very consistent about it. Yeah, I'm like, honestly, this feels fantastic. I am loving using these. And then I'm kind of curious, so with the drainage, so they do have like a little, I'll show you guys. Actually, they do have a little picture on here too. The reflecting is kind of bad, but it does have arrows, so it does help you too. And I found before I was doing this, just so I could kind of speak to it a little bit more, there's so many tutorials on things like this as well. But it shows for the lymphatic drainage that you kind of come up and down, and then, sorry, I need to look at it again, and then kind of come down the cheekbones here. And then even going into the neck, which I honestly think is pretty important when it comes to lymphatic drainage, kind of like pushing that all down, which this also feels so good. And pulling it down into here, which I can definitely see this one being more of like that nighttime routine kind of thing. But it's honestly the perfect, because I have before in the past, I know they have ice rollers and things like that, and I've just used like ice with a paper towel and just kind of use that, especially when I'm feeling like really puffy, and if I know I'm like going out to brunch or something like that, like I do like to kind of depuff my face before I put my makeup on. And it also, I know with ice too, it can make your makeup sit on nicer, which is really plus side too. But sometimes it's just like too cold, and I know that can also irritate your skin. These are like the perfect amount of like cool without being freezing. So I could just see this kind of before going somewhere. Again, just kind of pulling up. All right. It's kind of enough of these. Again, I think you can just kind of do it for however long you want. I definitely recommend probably keeping it in the box if you do get them. Because like I said, they are glass, so they can probably break, and the blue liquid you probably don't want anywhere. So definitely probably just keep it in the box to keep them safe and sound. But I definitely recommend these. I'll keep you guys updated if you follow me on Instagram and kind of see my progression with these, because I've been wanting some like facial tools and things like that for a while now. So I'm very excited to try these, and I'm hoping that they do kind of make a difference, which again, like I've seen from so many people, that they actually do make a difference. So very, very excited about that. But one thing, especially as I have gotten older, is basically skincare is pointless unless you wear sunscreen. And I have heard such good things about Super Goop. I'm assuming is how you pronounce it, but I see their brand everywhere. It's all over Instagram. I get ads for them all the time. And I've just only heard good things about them. So I tried 2 of their products actually. And I need to get better at wearing sunscreen, just like really including it in my, like, before I do my makeup and things like that, just like always using it, which I am getting better about it. But I think both the products I got will help me with using sunscreen more. So let me put up this product. So the first one I'm going to talk about is an SPF 40. And so it is a lightweight formula that it hydrates the skin while acting as a luminous makeup gripping primer, which I think is a really great thing because a lot of time, if you don't use like a specific kind of makeup oriented sunscreen before your makeup, you can kind of get a little cakey or something like that. So it's really nice to have a sunscreen that's like meant to go with makeup. I just think it makes a big difference, especially just that it gripping and will help kind of settle your makeup a little bit better. And it also says that it doubles as a highlighter wherever you want a little extra dose of sunshine. So if you just kind of put a little bit more, maybe your cheekbones or the little ball of your nose, I think that would work really nicely. But you can kind of see it's like slightly tinted, which it doesn't say anywhere that it is tinted, but it doesn't really show up tinted either. It says just to apply like a dime size dollop. So let me, again, I have a bare face. I washed my face before this, put on some moisturizer and stuff like that because my skin is kind of peeling right now. But I was a little concerned at first because I was like, oh, I didn't know that it was tinted. But once you rub it in, it's not very tinted or anything. It just kind of like feels really nice. It's super light. I have one sunscreen. I forget what brand. It's from a different brand. And it is a facial sunscreen, but it definitely feels more like, oh, I'm going to the beach. Like, let me put this on. Just a little bit heavier. I don't know. I just don't really like the way it sits, especially if I am putting makeup on. This one is so much lighter, and honestly, like I can feel it hydrating my skin, which it did say that it was a moisturizer, but you can definitely tell it just feels like an actual primer. Like you honestly probably wouldn't even notice that sunscreen if you didn't read the label, but it just feels really, really good on the skin. I'm really liking this product and I'm excited. They have a ton of other products and they're all on Verishop. So if you guys want to shop, I do have 15% off right now. And they have so many different versions of, like, I'm pretty sure their brand is only sunscreen. I could be wrong about that, but most of their products, at least on Verishop, were sunscreen oriented. And they have like a sunscreen serum, which sounded really cool. So I'm interested about that one too. But this product just kind of seemed more right for me, and like how I would use it. But they had like so many different ones. They have ones that are more like highlighter oriented, ones that kind of give you a glowy skin as well, which I think this one definitely kind of has that a little bit. Like it's almost like a tinted moisturizer feeling, just kind of like, I don't know, kind of just covers the skin. I am kind of peeling right now, and I put self tanner on my face last night, and then with the Colorado dry air, I'm just peeling a little bit, but we're getting through that. But this just feels really, really nice. I definitely recommend, or at least some of their other products as well. I'm a big fan of this. And I'm definitely going to incorporate this in my skincare routine. And I just like it too because I know I work in an office for like my 9 to 5, and a lot of time I'm like, oh, I don't need to wear sunscreen inside all day, but I do drive there and back. I commute. And I saw a picture of this guy who he was a truck driver and he got sun on like one side of his face mostly just from driving, and it was sagging so much more than the other side, which like didn't get as much sun. So I think he like drove with his window open or something like that. But it is crazy how much the sun impacts your skin, and I really need to get on that. But yeah, and every single podcast or things like that I listen to are always like, if you're not using sunscreen, basically any of your other anti-aging, any like anti-wrinkle things are just a waste because if you're getting sun on your skin, pretty much takes away all the usefulness and kind of the plumpness of your skin. And with that being said, I did get a second product from Supergoop. So let me put this one up. And this one just sounded really cool to me. And I've used it a couple times, but I'm excited to kind of use it more and see how I like it. But it is a setting powder, but it is sunscreen. So for the days that I do forget, because nothing sucks more than when you do your full face of makeup and realize you didn't put sunscreen on and you're going to be outside all day and you're just like, well, I'm not going to like put white stuff all over the face of makeup I just did. Like, that is the worst thing ever. So here it is. But it just has a brush on top, and then at the bottom you like twist it and you can release the powder or not. There's like a little arrow. So let me open it up. And obviously I would do this if I had my full face of makeup done. But again, in summer, I feel like, especially with like self tanner on or something, I don't feel the need to wear as much makeup. So this will just be kind of nice if you just put like a quick layer of something on your skin. Like I've been using a lot of skin tint recently. So I just put that on my skin, maybe a little concealer and some of my concerning spots, and then put this on top. It's like, I got the translucent. It does come in a few colors actually. But you can kind of see it at the top. The lighting's not great, but you can kind of see. No, I can see it here, but I don't know if it's picking up on camera. But it's kind of white in the middle, so that is like the sunscreen powder. And it's nice that it's just like a built-in brush, super easy. This would be like a perfect thing because it's pretty small too, just to keep in your bag in the summer. Because you can just kind of use it at any time. And it does have, it's a 35 SPF, and you can just like lock the powder so it stops coming out. And then it also, I just got my nails done, so I can't push this up right now. But it has just like one of those like plastic things that covers it, and then a case on top as well. So super easy just to bring with you. And again, it's like pretty small, so you just throw it in your bag. Just feel like it's like a good thing to like have on you. And I'm very excited about this just because, again, as much as I'm gonna try to incorporate this into my makeup routine, sometimes you do forget. So this will kind of be that backup. And or I honestly needed a setting spray too, so I kind of love that it's like a combo. I feel like this is like the perfect summer setting spray, just because it, why not do both? And I'm a very low maintenance, especially when it comes to skincare and makeup and stuff. Like I just, it's not something, like I'm more into definitely like my hair and like fashion usually. So any like simple products are my go-tos. Like I just love something that does more than one thing without lacking in either. So this is nice that it's a setting spray or setting powder, just kind of smooths out the skin. It just keeps your makeup on. Let's see. This one doesn't have as much like text as the other one. But I think that's like such a great concept. And again, I would just check out Supergoop in general on Verishop. They have so many different products, all sunscreen related. Again, they have kind of that highlighter and things like that. Just super cool, and I'm very excited about these products. Again, just sunscreen is something I need to get better at doing, and I think both these products are a perfect way to help me use them more and more. And the next one is not as much skincare, but it is an eyebrow pencil. And I typically, sorry, the lighting's just like not great, so my skin definitely looks like a little funky right now, but I like a very natural brow. I don't actually, like I'll pluck my brows if I have kind of some miscellaneous hairs or something like that, but I do not wax them or anything like that. Like I like kind of a little bit of a bushier look. Especially you see a lot of people doing the kind of like the soap brow look of like pushing them up. I just think it lifts your face, and I think it gives nice shape. And I honestly always kind of hated my eyebrows, but once I started doing that, I was like, oh, like my eyebrows actually can look good, just because they're a little bit thinner and like my hair is pretty naturally dark brown, and my eyebrows are just a little bit on the lighter side. Again, this lighting is a little weird, so you can't fully tell, but I got this pencil that's gonna let me show you, does it say the color I got? I think I got the brown. I think they have like a dark brown and a brown and then a beige, and I got the brown. So I got like the middle one, just because my eyebrows aren't super light, but they're also not super dark either. And it's weird. The screen mirrors me, so if I look a little funny, but it does have like a spoolie on the end. So I just like brushing up my brows. You can even tell. Let's see. I don't know. Personally, like I can even see like my face just already looks higher. Like I think it's kind of crazy how much it does that just from having your brows like pushed up. I don't know. I really like it. I don't think I'm ever going to go back to doing my brows a different way. I'm very happy that this is a popular trend to kind of do push up your brows. And I have looked into lamination too. And I think I need to get that done because I do this all the time. And I will typically use a product right now. I kind of start with this though because this brush works really nicely and it's a little bit better than the brush I have with my soap in it. But like without even product, you can just tell how much more lifted my face is already. But what I'll usually do is I will use this, brush up my eyebrows, and then I would go in with, I have a soap brow. It's actually just from Amazon. It's pretty cheap. It's just kind of like a soap container with like another spoolie, and you just wet it a little bit, use the soap brows, and I personally just take once I kind of brush it through, I just kind of go like this, lift them up, kind of stick them down a little bit just so they stay. And then this side is kind of like a little angled pencil, and this is going to be really hard for me to do on camera, but again, I don't like any super defined brows. I like just kind of the light natural look, but I do have some gaps in my brows, so I'll just, again, this is a little hard for me, but I'll just kind of go in and go over anywhere that I think just needs a little more color to it. I do have some gaps, especially when I kind of like push them down. You can kind of see where I'm like missing a few hairs or something like that because my brows are slightly on the thinner side. They're nothing crazy, but I really like the color of this. And honestly, the first time I used it, I went out to dinner with some of my girlfriends, and like they all complimented my eyebrows. And I was like, oh, okay, well, this is definitely a winner. And it's just a nice color. It's a pretty sorry, I think I just like got a hair in my eye, but it is a pretty like angled brush that you can kind of do like the brush strokes without doing like because I've tried those like individual ones where it's just like a pencil, like a marker, a pen, I guess, almost, and you just kind of like draw them in, and like that to me, I like appreciate people that can do it, but to me, it's just not really like the right product. But this kind of just like shades it in and just kind of fills in without being like too thick either. I don't know. I really like it though. And for $14, I think that's a really good price. I've tried some cheaper ones. I just feel like they don't work as well. And again, the spoolie is really nice to have as well, especially with the soap brows. Sometimes they get pushed down, and this is an easy thing that you can just throw in your bag, especially if you're, for me, like shooting content or going out with friends or something like that. Like I can just shove this in my bag and make sure my brows are all looking good and up to shape. So yeah, those are kind of the products I'm showing you guys this week. I can do a quick recap because I know a few people kind of came in a little bit later. So to start, I was talking about the ice globes, which are these guys. Super cool. Honestly, very cool, just like concept. So it's basically just water, I believe, in the inside, and you can cool them down. They honestly naturally feel very cold, but I did put mine in the refrigerator for like about 10 minutes before I started this. But it's been like 25 minutes now that I've been doing this, and they still feel chilled. And you can kind of push up to kind of lift your face, just to kind of help with some of the inflammation in your face and things like that. Just a nice base before you put on your makeup. And you can also do a lymphatic drainage with it, so that way you pull down on the skin. You make sure that you aren't doing it too hard. And then the neck one also feels really good. So you can kind of, again, just like push it down. I'm really enjoying these and I'm very excited to kind of consistently use these. I think these are something that immediately they can help, but over time is when you would see the most success using them. But these are perfect just for, again, like I was saying earlier, I went out to eat and had a few drinks last night, so I'm just feeling a little bit puffy, especially every time I go out to eat, which is like salt and things like that. And this just helps, especially in college. Like I always remember, just because we were kind of drinking a lot more and things like that, we would all try to put like ice packs on our faces and things like that if we knew we had something else, just because we get so puffy sometimes. And this would have been like a true lifesaver. And it honestly feels so amazing too, which just like makes it even better. And then, of course, we can't do skincare or like any skin routines or anything without sunscreen, because sunscreen is just the most important. And if you, to prevent wrinkles and aging of the skin and all that good stuff, I feel like if you're just using a lot of sunscreen, your skin will be better. All the good things basically. And I just use this one, which acts as if kind of a primer. It's called the Glow Screen. It's an SPF 40. And it just basically says that it's a gripping primer. And it's very hydrating too. It's very lightweight, which I like because a lot of sunscreens can be kind of heavy and just kind of like you can just feel it on your skin. But this one, once it's on, you wouldn't even notice it's there. It just kind of like sits on the skin. It's just kind of a nice plumping. I really like it. I'm a big fan. I've just started using it, but I think one's definitely going to be a keeper. And then this one, this one is a setting spray, or not spray, setting powder, which I think is just like the most genius thing ever. And it's also a sunscreen. And I was kind of mentioning before that I forget to put on a sunscreen sometimes before putting on my makeup. And then you're halfway through your makeup and you're like, oh my god, I forgot to put sunscreen on, but I already did my face. Like I really don't want to start over. And this is your best friend then, because I don't want to like not wear sunscreen, but this is for those times that you kind of forget. And it's also a setting powder too, so it also helps keep your makeup together and all that good stuff. And it's honestly perfect size that you could just put it in your bag, and it's all in one, which is even better. So you just kind of twist this and some of it, the product comes out here, so it's just super convenient. So definitely gonna throw this in my bag. Especially recently, we've been going to a lot of pools, kind of like pool party-esque. So I obviously have face and makeup, but I need to keep reapplying sunscreen too. So this is perfect for that, because you don't want to like put white sunscreen all over your makeup. That just wouldn't end up well. So I'm super excited about this product, but my time is almost up. So thank you guys all for watching. Next week I have same time, and I'm going over how to elevate your outfits and just kind of make things a little bit fancier. And I'm kind of dedicating it towards shoes, and I have some really, really cute pairs that came in, and I cannot wait to show you guys. So definitely tune in to next week too. But thank you again for all watching, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday.